There comes a moment in life when the world tries to put you in a box, label you as an actor, a singer, a worker, or just another face in the crowd. But what if you refuse to be defined by labels? What if you decide to break every stereotype, create your own path, and build a legacy that no one can take away from you? This is the story of resilience, courage, and the unstoppable spirit of someone who chose to be limitless. From a young age, life had its way of reminding me that I was different. My accent, my background, the way I carried myself, everything seemed to invite mockery. Children laughed, teachers doubted, and even strangers judged. My self-esteem was fragile, broken almost every single day. I began to believe that maybe I wasn't enough, that perhaps I didn't deserve a seat at the table. But deep inside, a small voice whispered, "This isn't the end. You can rise above this." That voice, though faint, kept me alive. I realized that if I wanted to silence the world, I had to first silence the doubts inside me. I had to believe in my own worth before anyone else could. That was the first spark of change, learning that every weakness people saw in me could become my greatest strength if I chose to fight for it. At 18, I faced a turning point. I gave myself a promise, a deadline, a challenge. I said, "You have 1.5 years to prove yourself. If you fail, go back to college. But until then, give it everything." That plan B was never out of sight. It wasn't weakness, it was strategy. Because life doesn't end if one path closes, it simply bends into another. I refused to see rejection as failure. Instead, I treated it as redirection. And with that mindset, I stepped into an industry I knew nothing about. I had no family connections, no shortcuts, no guarantees. All I had was an unshakable will to try, and a heart ready to fail, learn, and try again. My first audition was unforgettable. Nervousness shook my entire body. My palms were sweaty, my voice trembled, and my heart pounded like a drum. Before walking into that room, filled with strangers who would judge my worth, I excused myself to the bathroom. I stood in front of the mirror, staring at the reflection of a scared girl pretending to be brave. Then I asked myself, "What's wrong with you? Haven't you faced harder challenges before?" I tossed my hair, straightened my shoulders, and smiled at the girl staring back. That moment, I wasn't just acting. I was transforming. I walked out with confidence, and to my surprise, I got the role. That was the beginning of something bigger than me. What I learned from that day was simple but powerful. Confidence is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to act in spite of it. Fear will always whisper in your ear, reminding you of your limits. But courage is louder when you choose to listen to it. I carried that lesson into every project, every performance, every opportunity that came my way. Soon, I was no longer defined by what people thought I could or couldn't do. I was defined by my work ethic. You give me any task, painting a wall, memorizing lines, performing on stage, and I will make sure it is done with excellence. Because greatness is not about talent alone. It is about dedication, persistence, and the hunger to prove that you are unstoppable. As my journey unfolded, I discovered a truth: life gives you doors, but it is your responsibility to open them. Some people wait for luck, others wait for help, but I decided to create my own chances. Movies became my world, yet I refused to let them be my cage. I ventured into music. Even though I had no formal training, I poured my soul into it, writing, recording, and creating almost 40 songs in just 2 years, all while finishing multiple films. People called me crazy, a workaholic, restless. But the truth is, when you love what you do, it doesn't feel like work. It feels like breathing. And once you realize that, you stop counting hours and start counting dreams. People often ask me if I ever get tired, if I ever want to stop. The truth is, I don't know how to stop. Since I was 17, I've lived with a rhythm of constant motion. Work has never been a burden, it has been my lifeline. For me, pausing feels like drowning. Every project, every new challenge keeps me alive. Some think balance is about slowing down, but for me, balance is about passion. It's about filling my life with things that push me forward, things that keep me growing. And that's when I realized success is not about fame, not about applause, not even about money. Success is about expansion. It's about stretching yourself beyond what you thought you were capable of, about doing the impossible until it becomes possible. The world presents two choices. One is simple: walk the common road, wear the same suits, go to the same office, follow the same routines, and live a life that is safe, ordinary, and predictable. The other choice is terrifying: swim upstream like a trout, defy the current, and carve out a path no one has walked before. That second path is filled with risks, mistakes, and fear. But here's the beauty: you own every inch of it. Every bruise, every scar, every triumph belongs only to you. I knew early on that I would rather risk everything for a life uniquely mine than settle for a comfortable existence that left no legacy behind. Dreams are fragile things. They can be crushed by a careless word, dismissed by a single laugh, or buried by the doubts of those who fear dreaming themselves. I remember sitting in rooms where people looked at me and said, "It's not possible for someone like you. You don't fit. You don't belong." And yet, I held on to my vision. Because the most powerful truth about dreams is that they grow in the hands of the one who dares to believe in them. No one can tell you your dream is too small. No one can dictate how far it can take you. Dreams are yours, and they become real when you fight for them like your very life depends on it. I wasn't supposed to play roles that broke stereotypes. In the early years of my career, I was told I was replaceable. Producers would shrug and say, "If she doesn't work out, we'll find someone else." That cut deep. For a while, it made me question my worth. But then it ignited something fierce inside me. I refused to be disposable. I chose characters that were strong, complex, and unforgettable. I fought for parts that showed women as more than just ornaments or damsels in distress. Slowly, the narrative shifted. Today, I know that in the roles I take, I am irreplaceable. And that's not arrogance. It's the result of building value through persistence and conviction. What changed my journey was not luck or destiny. It was discipline. Every day I asked myself, what can I do today to become better than yesterday? That question shaped my choices. It forced me to wake up earlier, study harder, and push past comfort. When others rested, I practiced. When others doubted, I prepared. Hard work became my weapon, and consistency became my armor. I didn't rely on being the most talented in the room. I made sure I was the most prepared. That is the secret nobody tells you. Success doesn't come from a single breakthrough. It comes from the relentless effort to improve. Every single day, no matter how small the step. There were days when exhaustion nearly broke me. Nights when my body screamed for rest, when my mind begged me to quit. But in those moments, I remembered why I started. I wasn't chasing a career, I was chasing freedom. Freedom from labels, from limitations, from the weight of other people's opinions. That reminder pulled me through sleepless nights and endless schedules. I realized that true strength isn't shown when everything is going right. True strength is revealed when you keep moving, even when everything inside you wants to stop. And every time I chose to keep going, I proved to myself that my willpower was stronger than any obstacle in front of me. Opportunities don't come gift-wrapped. They come disguised as challenges, rejections, and even failures. When I first stepped into unfamiliar industries, whether it was music, films, or production, I was met with doubt and criticism. People said I was spreading myself too thin, that I should stick to one thing. But I knew I wasn't meant to fit into just one box. I wanted to expand, to explore, to grow. I wanted to be limitless. So I worked harder, smarter, and with more resilience than ever before. Each rejection became fuel. Each criticism became a lesson. And slowly, opportunities that once seemed impossible began to unfold before me. I've always believed that the universe rewards courage. Whenever I stepped into unknown territory, afraid yet determined, doors eventually opened. Not immediately, not without struggle, but they did open. And when they did, I made sure I was ready. That's the key. Not just waiting for opportunities, but preparing yourself so thoroughly that when the chance comes, you're unstoppable. I never walked into a room unprepared. I studied, I practiced, I polished every detail. Because success isn't just about talent. It's about preparation meeting the right moment. And when those two align, the world calls it luck. But deep down, you'll know it was never luck. It was your relentless effort. The journey towards success often feels lonely. Not everyone will understand why you work the way you do. Friends might drift away, family might question your choices, and society will constantly try to remind you of what's normal. But the truth is, greatness is never born in comfort zones. It grows in isolation, in late nights, in sacrifices that most people aren't willing to make. I embraced that loneliness, turned it into my companion, and allowed it to sharpen my focus. Because the higher you climb, the fewer people you'll find walking beside you. But that's okay. The summit may be lonely, but the view is worth every step. Looking back, I see how every struggle, every doubt, every rejection shaped me into the person I am today. If I had been handed success easily, I might not have valued it. But because I fought for it, I own it completely. My story isn't about talent or privilege. It's about grit. It's about waking up each day with a decision to keep going no matter what. And if there's one lesson my journey has taught me, it's this: life will always test you, break you, and push you to the edge. But if you hold on, if you fight through the storms, you will come out stronger, brighter, and unstoppable. When people look at success from the outside, they often see only the highlights. They see the awards, the red carpets, the applause. But what they don't see are the countless failures, the sleepless nights, the sacrifices quietly made. They don't see the tears shed behind closed doors or the battles fought in silence. Success is never a straight line. It's a journey of falling and rising over and over again. And that's the truth I wish more people understood. It's not about how many times you stumble. It's about how many times you rise back up, dust yourself off, and continue walking forward, refusing to let failure define your story. There's a misconception that greatness belongs only to a chosen few, that some people are simply born for success. I refuse to believe that. I am living proof that it doesn't matter where you come from, what language you speak, or how people judge you. What matters is how fiercely you pursue your dreams. Determination doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't care about your background. It only demands your effort and persistence. Every achievement in my life is not because I was destined for it, but because I refused to give up. I fought for it, prepared for it, and claimed it when the world tried to tell me I couldn't. One of the most powerful lessons I've learned is that you must be your own biggest supporter. In the beginning, very few people will believe in you. They will doubt you, laugh at you, even try to discourage you. If you rely only on external validation, you will quit before you even begin. That's why you must build unshakable self-belief. You must look in the mirror and tell yourself, I can, I will, I must. Self-belief is not arrogance. It's survival. It's the fuel that keeps you going when no one else is cheering for you. And once you cultivate that belief, nothing and no one can stand in your way. As my journey expanded, I realized something extraordinary. Success is not a destination. It's a continuous climb. Every time I reach one goal, I set another. Not because I was ungrateful, but because growth never stops. Complacency is the enemy of greatness. The moment you decide you've made it, you stop moving forward. And so I made a promise to myself: never settle, always evolve. Whether it was acting, music, or production, I refused to limit myself. I wanted to explore every possibility, every skill, every dream. Because to be truly alive is to keep stretching, keep growing, keep chasing the limitless potential within you. But with growth comes pressure. Managing multiple careers, endless expectations, and constant judgment was never easy. People often ask me how I managed it all. My answer was simple: discipline and love. Discipline kept me consistent. Love kept me passionate. Without one, the other cannot survive. You need discipline to keep showing up even when you're tired. You need love to keep the fire burning even when the road feels long. Together, they create resilience, the ability to keep moving forward no matter what. And resilience, more than talent or luck, is what truly builds a lasting legacy. Every legacy begins with a single choice, the choice to believe in yourself when no one else does. I wasn't born with certainty. I wasn't born knowing my path. I stumbled, I hesitated, I questioned myself. But every time I chose courage over fear, the path became clearer. The truth is, your life will not be defined by the titles you hold or the roles you play. It will be defined by the impact you leave on others and the strength with which you chase your dreams. Legacy is not something you inherit. It's something you build with every decision, every risk, every relentless step toward becoming who you were meant to be. There is a myth that dreams have limits, that they are bound by gender, by geography, by circumstances. But dreams are limitless because the human spirit is limitless. I have seen people from small towns change the world. I have seen individuals who were told no 1,000 times finally create their own yes. And that's what drives me. The belief that no dream is too big if you dare to chase it with everything you have. The world may try to shrink your vision, but never let protect your dreams, nourish them. Because one day, they may become the very light that inspires millions. If there's one thing I've learned, it's that success isn't about proving others wrong, it's about proving yourself right. For years, I worked not to silence my critics, but to honor the voice within me that whispered, "You are capable of more." And every achievement became evidence that the voice was right. This is why I urge everyone to listen to that inner calling. Don't wait for approval. Don't wait for permission. If you feel something burning inside you, that fire is there for a reason. Chase it, honor it. Because nothing feels more fulfilling than becoming the person you always believed you could be. The road I chose was not easy, but it was mine. And that is what makes it beautiful. I wasn't content being just another face in the crowd, just another name on a list. I wanted to create a path that carried my unique mark, a journey that no one else could replicate. That's the essence of legacy, carving something so distinct, so authentic, that it can never be duplicated. And now, as I look back at the struggles and the victories, I don't just see accomplishments. I see proof that with faith, hard work, and courage, an ordinary person can live an extraordinary life. This journey isn't only about me, it's about you. About every person who has ever been told they aren't enough, who has ever been underestimated, or who has ever been made to feel replaceable. Let my story remind you, you are not replaceable. You are unique, powerful, and capable of more than you can imagine. Don't let the world decide your worth. Define it yourself. Don't walk someone else's path. Create your own. Be limitless. Be unstoppable. And most of all, never stop dreaming, because dreams really do come true. If you found this story inspiring, make sure to like this video and visit our channel for more powerful and uplifting stories that will fuel your journey.